Hello everyone. I chose to do a social media project for a company that I have been interning, and so it was a cool opportunity to kind of have my own project throughout my experience. So here's a brief overview of my project. So we're going to start with the scope, talked about the project analysis, the outline, different roles that we all had, the timeline, to revisions, project success factors, and then the lessons that we learned, of course. So a brief overview of the scope. So the customer is Covey. I work for Covey, and so basically I'm just focusing on how can I market the brand, how can I reach more customers. And so I have been working on this project from February to May. And so there's 3 accounts within Covey. So I worked on the actual Covey account, and then they have 2 events that they sponsor. And so we do a whole social media brand for them. We actually had one in May. And so I did the breakdown for that. And we'll get more into it in the next slide. So the analysis, here is a brief look at our page on Covey. And so it's very bright, energetic, lots of florals, lots of blog posts, of course faces. We love to see that, and it does really well with our customers. There's some different reels in there that do good as well. And so the goal was 3 months of social media work, which we completed that, of course, and I am actually continuing into summer. I'm working part-time for them, full part-time, if that makes sense. So briefly, I was working 4 hours on this project, and so I'll be bumped up to 20 hours just in general with multiple projects. So the Covey brand, we did 5 posts a week, which is a lot, and so that took lots of time, different research, and all of those factors. And then the Mom Boss event was in May, and so we did lots of promoting for that. It actually bumped up to more like 5 times per week, but in March and February it was more closer to like 2 to 3 times per week. And then Steadfast is an event that's in September, and so we'll market that more when we get closer to that time period. And then here is a look at the project outline. So first we created a scope. From there we looked at different roles and established tasks. And so there's 3 of us that work at Covey full-time, and so the owner, Dre, was my overseer, and so we looked at this together to create different tasks and timelines. From there, she gave me access to all the different platforms, so we used just Google Drive to put all the social media posts in. So it looks like a calendar. We put all the copy as well as the photos or the reels that we're going to post so that it can be approved. And from there we have Planoly, which is another platform that we pay for, and so all the posts are loaded into there and they automatically post. So I can put a month at a time, I could put a week at a time, it doesn't really matter. We also have another platform called MailChimp, and so when we did the Mom Boss event, we did some different stuff that went through there to market as well, but I'm mostly focused on the social media. And then I, from getting access to all platforms, started creating posts. So the different roles, I am the project manager. I spent about 4 hours per week doing my different roles. And then Dre, the owner of Covey, was the project approval manager, and so she just wanted to make sure that her brand is her voice, and so she would approve or tweak any different things throughout the project. And then Nell, she also worked with me throughout this and just helped with different aspects if I needed more ideas. She just has a better idea of the company as I'm just stepping in through this role. So here's a brief look at my timeline. And so first, of course, we need a place to get all of the library, the photos, the videos, and everything. So that is consistently updated by Dre and Nell. Then for me, I would create the social media posts. I would try to go a month out. That was the goal. Of course, it got changed throughout different challenges, which I'll talk about later. and then Dre would approve the posts, and from there I would load them into the social media platform, and that kind of went on for each month. And then from there we had our big event, and so I captured social media, and then I posted it on the story with different content, as well as loaded them into our Dropbox so that we have them for future social media. So looking at the revisions, we had to alter because I was having a goal of a month ready at a time to post. However, with different aspects being busy and different priorities throughout the company, it more went down to 2 weeks at a time, or maybe even one, that we could get approved and uploaded, and so that was something we needed to change. And then we also lessened the amount of posts for a couple weeks. It just depended on what was the need. Do I go more towards this platform versus another, versus all of those aspects. And then we took a break last week with like finals, and Dre was out on leave for another event, and so we couldn't get things approved, couldn't get as much out there, and so we just had to work through that. And Dre, my project owner, essentially, was okay with that, and that's something that we needed to communicate about. And then we also documented this in the scope and just reevaluated how we're going to move forward with further months. Project success factors, we did a really good job just marketing the Covey brand. We expanded in terms of reels, posts, and just getting more engagement in general, so that was a key success, which was super exciting. And then we also interacted with Covey workers, and people just love seeing the brand, the people that are part of it, the faces, and so that really brought a lot of our success through the social media posts. So looking at the different lessons learned, I would say communication is definitely a key factor, and I know a lot of people have kind of talked about that as well, but seriously, it totally is. And so just communication, clear communication, essentially, from me to all of the people that are involved within the project, are so important. And so whether it was this week we're running behind, we need to add more, or this week, you know what, we're just going to lay off. And that was a call that, although I was a project manager, project overseer / approver, Dre, she would decide those factors as well. And then from there, research what was doing well, what's not, looking at our own analytics, looking at what people are doing in the market, our competitors. Those were all factors that I wish I had more time to do with only 4 hours allotted. To this, I definitely didn't get as much as I had hoped for in terms of research, but of course I'm moving to a bigger role and going to be able to have more time to spend on this research. And then we also had a flexible timeline. This was something that's unique to our project / Covey in general. Like, this aspect wasn't for a client, it was for the company that I'm working for, and so that was something that was helpful. Although we want to get posts out in time, we want to be super timely with it, but clients took the priority, and so if social media didn't get out, that wasn't a huge problem. But further, as I get into this role, it's definitely going to be a priority. And then also just being able to adapt to change. Of course, there's so many different things going on, and different factors that fall into this project specifically, and so just making sure that I'm flexible, the people in the project are flexible, and looking at the different factors of the project. Thank you.